3 men followed him out to the parking lot at 2 in the morning. They had watched him all night. The quiet one, mid-40s, gray t-shirt, no logo. He worked the door of a mid-tier club on the edge of the city, and he never raised his voice. Not once. He turned away, a drunk. He walked a girl to her car. He stood with his hands folded and his weight on the balls of his feet, and he watched the room the way other people watch a fire. They thought he was tired. They thought he was slow. They thought a man who moves that calmly must not have anything left in the tank. They thought wrong, because the man in the gray t-shirt had spent 19 years doing a job that does not appear on any resume, and in about 90 seconds, 3 armed men were going to learn exactly what that job had taught him. This is iron actual. Call it the Meridian, a converted warehouse on an industrial strip, 2 miles from a highway on-ramp, the kind of place that pulls a young crowd on the weekend and a rougher crowd after midnight. Good money moved through that room. Cash bar, cash cover charge, a safe in the back office that got heavy by closing time. For a certain kind of criminal, a club like the Meridian is not a place to have fun. It is a target. Predictable hours, predictable cash, 1 nervous manager, and usually 1 bored bouncer between them and the money. The 3 men had done this before. Not there, but places like it. They were not masterminds. They were something more dangerous than that. They were experienced, they were armed, and they had never once been stopped. Their pattern was simple. Watch a venue for a week. Learn the closing routine. Take the manager in the parking lot when the money walks to the car. In and out in under 2 minutes. They had run it clean 4 times across 3 states. The Meridian was supposed to be the 5th. They had watched the door for 6 nights, and every night they saw the same thing. 1 older guy. No visible weapon. No radio. No earpiece. No visible backup. He didn't puff his chest. He didn't posture. To 3 men who read toughness as noise, he read as nothing at all. So on the 7th night, they made their move. What they did not know, what they could not have known, is that the quiet man had already clocked them on night 2. Let's talk about the man in the gray t-shirt. We'll call him Ray. That is not his name, and if you ever met the real man, he would not have told you his real name either. That was the whole point of him. Ray joined the Army at 18, infantry first. Then he tried out for the Ranger Regiment and made it, and for a few years he did the hard, direct work of a light infantry raider. Fast, loud, overwhelming. But somewhere in there, people who watch for a certain kind of soldier started watching Ray, not the loudest man in the room, the most observant one, the one who stayed calm when the plan fell apart, the one who could walk into a strange town and, within an hour, tell you who really ran it. That skill set has a home. It's called the Special Activities Center. Ground Branch, the paramilitary arm of the Central Intelligence Agency, the people who operate in the places where the United States cannot be seen to operate at all. Ground Branch officers are not soldiers in uniform. They are the opposite of a uniform. They are chosen for their ability to disappear, to be forgettable, to sit in a cafe in a hostile city for 6 hours and have no one remember their face. They are trained in close-quarter shooting, in edged weapons, in hand-to-hand fighting designed not for a ring, but for a stairwell. They are trained to end a threat quickly, quietly, and to be gone before the story starts. But here's the part that matters for our purposes tonight. The single most valuable thing a ground branch officer learns is not how to fight, it's how to see, threat assessment, reading a room, spotting the surveillance before the surveillance spots you, knowing from the way a man carries his right hand that there is a pistol in his waistband, knowing from the way 3 strangers keep drifting back to the same car that you are being hunted. Ray did 19 years. He worked in places that still don't have names in the public record. And when he came home, quietly, the way he did everything, he did not want a security consulting firm or a cable news contract. He wanted quiet. He took a job on a door because it kept him near people without asking anything of him. The men hunting the Meridian saw an aging bouncer. What was actually standing in that doorway was one of the most highly trained close-quarters operators this country produces, switched off, bored, and paying complete attention. Night 7. Ray saw the car at 11, same sedan from the previous 2 nights, parked nose out, always facing the exit. That's not how you park to have a drink. That's how you park to leave in a hurry. He saw the 3 of them come in separately, 10 minutes apart. They didn't greet each other. They didn't drink much. 2 of them kept their jackets on in a warm room. One of them went to the bathroom 4 times in an hour and came back checking the same pocket every time. Ray didn't tense up. That's the thing people get wrong. He got calmer. He walked the manager's routine in his head. He noted where the exits were, where the security camera blind spots were, how many civilians were between him and the door. He told the bartender, quietly, to keep the back office locked and to call the police at exactly 2:15, whether or not anything looked wrong. He did not make a scene. Making a scene gets civilians hurt. A professional does not want a fight in a crowded room. A professional wants the fight to happen on ground he has already chosen. So he let them think it was working. At close, the manager came out with the night's cash in a bank bag, exactly as the 3 men had watched him do for 6 nights. Ray walked him out, same as always, and the 3 men peeled off their stools and followed, spreading into a loose triangle across the lot, one left, one right, one closing from behind. Textbook, for them. Also textbook, for him. It happened fast. These things always do. The man on the right drew first, a pistol, up and out, the word wallet already in his mouth. He never finished it. Ray had already stepped, not back, into the manager, shoving him down and clear behind a parked truck. In the same motion, he closed the distance to the nearest gun. That's the part the 3 men could never have expected. Every instinct they'd ever exploited told them a victim runs away from a weapon. Ray moved toward it, inside the arc, where a pistol is just an awkward piece of metal, and the man holding it is suddenly very close to someone who has done this 1,000 times in the dark. He controlled the weapon hand, turned the muzzle away from every living person, and put the first man on the pavement in under 2 seconds, not dead, just done, folded around an arm that no longer worked the way arms are supposed to. The second man froze, half a second. In a real fight, half a second is a canyon. By the time he thought to raise his gun, Ray was no longer where he'd been. The third man, the one who'd been closing from behind, got exactly one clear look at what was happening to his friends, and made the only smart decision of the entire week. He ran. He didn't get far. He ran straight into the 2 responding patrol cars that the bartender had called at 2:15, on the dot, exactly as instructed. No shots fired by the veteran, not one. 2 suspects on the ground in the lot, 1 in handcuffs at the edge of it, 3 loaded firearms recovered, and a manager sitting behind a truck tire, completely unhurt, holding a bank bag and trying to understand what he had just watched. The whole thing, start to finish, took less time than it takes to read this sentence. The 3 men were charged with armed robbery, conspiracy, and multiple weapons counts. When investigators pulled the thread, the pattern came apart. The 4 earlier jobs across 3 states, the surveillance habits, the nose-out parking. The Meridian was meant to be number 5. Instead, it was the end of the line. All 3 took plea deals rather than face a jury. They are still inside. Ray gave a short statement to the police and declined to say much else. He did not do interviews. He did not post about it. When the local paper tried to run a heroic bouncer story, there was almost nothing to run. No photo he'd agreed to. No history anyone could verify. A records request for his background came back thin in a way that thin records are usually not. Just the way he liked it. He worked the door for a few more months. Then, quietly, he moved on. Nobody at the Meridian is quite sure where. And that is the part worth sitting with. Because the lesson here is not that the bad guys picked a tough target. Tough is common. Tough is loud. Tough is the thing that gets noticed. The lesson is that the most dangerous person in any room is almost never the one performing it. It's the calm one in the corner. The one who walked the exits when he came in. The one whose stillness isn't weakness. It's a decision. Real capability doesn't need to announce itself. It waits. It watches. And it only ever shows up for the 90 seconds that actually matter. 3 armed, experienced robbers spent a week studying the Meridian. They studied everything except the one man who mattered. They saw a tired bouncer. They never saw the operator standing right in front of them. So here's the question I want you to sit with and drop in the comments. If the most capable person in the room is the one who never raises his voice, how many of them have you walked past without ever knowing? And if you had that kind of training, that kind of history, would you want the world to see it? Or would you choose the gray t-shirt and the quiet door? Tell me down below. That's the actual. Stay sharp.